Welcome back, my lovelies. Once again, this is your Pop-Out Queen coming at you. Always keeping it real with no fluff or fake thrills, baby. You heard? Let's talk about something we all need to hear. Allowing the Most High to take over the wheel. Imagine that. Taking your hands off the wheel and letting Him drive once and for all. Now, before you start thinking, well, I have things under control, honey, just take a minute to really look back at where your decisions have gotten you. Think of those dead end streets, those paths that went nowhere, those relationships, situations, and opportunities that left you feeling empty, stranded, or just plain lost. Here's the hard truth. We all like to think we're capable of driving our own lives, that we know best and can handle the road ahead. But let's face it, if we're honest, our decisions have often led us into storms after storm, crash after crash, and here we are, still trying to control the wheel, insisting we know the way. Our way, of course. But God is saying something completely different today. Move over. Let me lead. Let me show you what real direction looks like. Boom. You hear that? Truth bomb just went off, baby. It's time to take a step back and give Him full control. Something that sounds easy but requires more courage than we realize. It means surrendering our plans, our opinions, and even our fears. And surrendering is terrifying because it's the opposite of control. Yet, it's also the most freeing thing we can do. Because when God is in control, we don't have to stress about every little detail. He's got it all in His hands. Now, we must realize that we've been steering wrong. I mean, to be honest. If we're really, really being honest here, how often do we take a wrong turn because we thought we knew best? We rely on our understanding, our experience, or the advice of people who might mean well but can't see the whole picture like God can. Then, when things don't go right, we wonder why we're stuck or confused. The truth is, it's because we're the ones driving. God's been watching us struggle, wishing we just trust Him, and knowing we'll make it harder than it has to be. He's been there, waiting for us to stop holding on so tight to our own ideas of what's right and finally say, okay, God, I've had enough. I'm ready to follow. And if you're honest with yourself, we're often only ready to let Him take the wheel after we exhausted every other option. Think about it. God's navigation is better. Imagine having the best GPS ever, the one who knows the past, present, and future all at once. Oh boy, that's bad right there. Ooh, ooh, ooh. He sees the detours we'll need to take before we even see a curve in the road. He knows the people who are going to come into our lives and those who will leave. And He knows where He's leading us because He planned it. He's our creator. He knows what's best for us better than we do. Now, in Psalms 32:8, it says, I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my loving eye on you. That's the promise right there. The Most High is saying, He'll show us the way, teach us, guide us, and He'll do it with love. His eye is on us. We're not out here trying to figure it out all on our own. Yet, even with that promise, we keep trying to take over, thinking we know better or afraid of what might happen if we give up control. But what's on the other side of letting go? Peace. Real peace, that is, baby. Real peace. The kind that says, I don't know what's going on, or I don't know what's going to happen next, but I know God's leading this, so I won't have to worry. That's the kind of peace that only comes when you surrender the real. Baby, the freedom in letting go. Letting go or letting God take the wheel doesn't mean our lives will be perfect. No, no, no. And it doesn't mean that the road will be smooth. But it does mean we won't have to go through it alone. Think of it like riding in a car where you don't have to focus on directions. You can look out the window, enjoy the scenery, and even rest if you need to because you trust the one driving. Letting go of control is freeing because it allows us to focus on the journey without the pressure of figuring out every detail. When God is in control, He's the one handling the route, the destination, and every stop along the way. All we have to do is stay in the passenger seat and follow His lead. Boy, that's like being chauffeured around. You hear me? Now, trusting the process can be hard, and sometimes God's directions don't make sense to us. I'm telling you, that's the truth. I've been there. He might take us down a road that looks longer or leads us through some rough terrain, but those roads have purpose. You ever notice the difficult paths? The ones we never choose on our own are often the very ones that shape us, strengthen us, and prepare us for the destination He has in mind. It's not easy to trust a process that feels uncertain or takes us through places we never wanted to go. But Romans 8:28 promises that all things work together for the good of those who love God, who have been called according to His purpose. So that means that every path, every detour, every moment we don't understand is part of a larger plan that God has designed for our ultimate good. He's not out to harm us, but to bring us into something greater than we could imagine ourselves. He put this message in front of you for a reason. Maybe you're here listening to this because you've been feeling that tug, sensing it's time to do something different. It's no accident, baby, that you're here today. This message isn't just a coincidence. It's a reminder from God, a gentle push to say, let me take over. I've got this, and I've got you. Consider this message His way of telling you that it's time to stop holding on control so tightly. It's time to stop doubting, stop fearing, and stop wondering what's going to happen next. Instead, it's time to trust, to release, to lean in, and let Him guide you down a path that, while uncertain to you, is entirely known to Him. I beg you to surrender and watch what happens. God is calling you to surrender, not a passive surrender, but an active choice to let Him be the Lord of your life, your decisions, and your direction. It might feel like losing control, but it's actually the most powerful step you can take because when you surrender, you open yourself up to the possibilities, plans, and blessings that God has waiting for you. So today, let go of the will. Say, God, I'm done leading. I'm ready for you to take over. And then watch what happens. Watch how he moves, how he guides you, how he opens doors, and even closes some for your protection. Some doors have to be closed for your protection, honey. Watch how he changes you and mold you as you surrender, trusting in his perfect guidance. Let him drive. All you have to do is enjoy the ride, baby. Enjoy it. This isn't a journey you have to figure out alone. It's time to move over. Get comfortable in the passenger seat and enjoy it. God's in control now. And with him at the wheel, you're on the road to a life more incredible than anything you could have mapped out on your own. Let today be the day you surrender your life, your plans, and your future to the one who holds it all. Well, now, that is the word for the day. I pray that everyone gear up with love, kindness, and forgiveness. You heard? I'm out.